Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Angie and I like to share different projects that I have going on around our house. And today I want to share one of my favorite videos to make and share with y'all, and that is upcycling thrifted items. I love thrifting and I love upcycling, and it's just fun to me and I love sharing it with y'all, and y'all love it. Y'all left me comments and let me know how much I love it. And so I want to share this video and just show you my little spin on thrifted items. But before we get into that, I wanted to share some of the things that I've been thinking about recently and just getting comments from y'all about different thrifted items that I find. And I always get comments on, I've been looking for one of those for a long time, or where did you find that? I would love to find one. Then I also get the question of, do you resell your items? Well, if you have followed our channel for very long, you know that one of the reasons I started my channel is because I had an antique vintage booth, and this was a way for me to make people aware that I had a booth, and it did increase my customer base, which I'm so thankful for. But when we moved, I ended up closing that booth, and I have a video telling you all about that I'll link below in case you're interested in that. But I have also been thinking a lot about the inventory that I have left over from that booth. I have been thinking about different ways that I can resell those items. I have looked for a booth space and I've not been successful. And so I'm thinking about maybe doing an online shop. And so my different options are Etsy. I could open up a shop on my blog, or I could also do Instagram stories or Facebook Live and sell on there. If y'all have any experience with either of those platforms, I would love to hear about your experience. If you would leave me a comment and let me know. In the meantime, while I figure out which way I want to go with this online business, I reviewed a printer that I want to share with you, and I think that it would be a very good tool to use in an online business. So let me tell you a little bit about that. This is the BPXX Bluetooth Thermal Label Printer. This printer is suitable for small business owners and is compatible with Shopify, eBay, UPS, Amazon, and Etsy. The BPXX shipping label printer supports Bluetooth connectivity with phones or tablets, including Android and iOS. You can also connect the USB cable for printing from Windows, Mac, and more. You can download the 4Barcode app to print labels wirelessly from your phone. Simply download the label from the corresponding platforms and upload to the app for printing. This means no more waiting in lines at the post office, and this could change your online business. This label maker can print up to 72 4x6 shipping labels per minute. The labels are clear, not easy to fade, and can be successfully scanned at all times. This thermal printer is suitable for any brand of thermal label, and the thermal labels are sold separately. This thermal printer not only prints labels, but it can also print stickers, document labels, barcode labels, QR codes, bulk mailing labels, and more. I wanted to try my hand at making some stickers with this little printer, and so I loaded my sticker paper, which is sold separately, into the printer just like I did my labels, and the computer recognizes what paper you have installed in the printer, so you don't need to do anything extra. I went over to Canva and I just designed a simple thank you to put on a sticker. I then downloaded it to my computer and then sent it to the printer to print. You will have to change a few of the settings when you go to print. Just make sure that it fits on the sticker and that the sizing is correct. And then you'll just hit print and it'll print the sticker. The sticker turned out pretty good. I think that I need to play some more with the settings and the darkness that I printed on, but I'll eventually get the hang of it. And another thing that I love about this printer is you don't have to worry about replacing expensive ink cartridges. This is a thermal printer, and so it prints with heat, which will save your small business money in the long run. This printer also comes with a U-disc that you can insert into your computer, and it will give you a tutorial on how to install this printer onto your devices. It goes from phone, Mac, Windows, and other devices that you can download this printer to. If you prefer not to use the U-disc, you can go to the Amazon store where the printer is sold, and there is a video tutorial which walks you through the different devices that you can download this printer to. It's a pretty easy tutorial to follow. It's pretty detailed. Even if you're not a tech-savvy person, it's pretty easy to load the printer onto your devices. There are several things that I love about this little thermal printer. The first one is its size. It is a small printer, and so it would be easy just to sit this printer on a small tabletop or a counter, and when you have an online business you don't have a lot of room, and so it's very convenient in its size. The second thing I like about this printer is it uses heat to print, and so you're never inconvenienced by running out of ink and having to run to the store and grab more ink before you can print your labels and mail out your packages. And then the third thing I like about this printer is you can use it even if you don't have an online business. So you can use it to print stickers and personalize all of your homemade goodies, things that you make, or even if you do have an online business, you can print stickers to go on your packages, and the sky's the limit with this little printer. If you are impressed with this convenient and versatile printer as much as I am, then check out our link in our description box below. Right now, BPXX is running a 30% off discount on their printer. You can click the box when you go to check out, and also use our promo code for 5% that you can stack on top of the 30% off, and start enjoying this little printer today. So now I'm going to show you the different thrifted items that I've picked up just over the last few weeks, and I'm going to upcycle them. The first thing that I'm going to upcycle are these glass bottles. Now, I showed y'all these in a previous video where I had thrifted them, and I told y'all that I had plans for them. Well, I'm finally ready to upcycle them and use them for something good. This has a little A on it, and then back here it has sparkling written on it. It's got this lid on it that closes. It's just a really neat bottle. This one has the same thing. And so what I'm going to do with these is make homemade vanilla extract. The last time that I shared these with y'all, I asked y'all to guess what I was going to use these for, and a lot of y'all guessed right. So I think they're the perfect bottles for homemade vanilla. Making vanilla extract only takes 2 ingredients. So it's important that you get the highest grade vanilla beans. I'll link the ones that I got down below. And you also need alcohol. So we're using vodka, but I've read that you can use brandy or rum. But keep in mind that everything I've read says that vodka makes the most flavorful vanilla extract. You also need a jar to store your vanilla extract in. You can recycle old spaghetti jars or mason jars or anything that you can seal up. Also, you need a measuring cup, a cutting board, a sharp knife, and a funnel. So the rule of thumb to make vanilla extract is to use 6 vanilla beans per 8 ounces of alcohol. And so the bottle that I have here holds 8 ounces. So I'm going to put 6 vanilla beans in here with 8 ounces of the vodka. I just take a sharp knife and I cut down the strip of vanilla, and you just open it up. So inside this little bean is all of this vanilla. You want to make sure that you open it up so that this can dissolve into your alcohol and create the flavor of the vanilla extract. If your beans are too tall, you need to cut them in half because you want the vanilla beans submerged in the alcohol at all times. If they're out of the alcohol, they can mold, and that will ruin your vanilla extract. To me, the most tedious process of this whole thing was cutting the vanilla beans. They're so thin, so you have to be careful to slice them. And I just did all mine at one time. I just sliced them down the middle and then cut them in half so that they would be submerged in the alcohol. But you could do them one at a time and drop them in your bottle also. After you've added all of your vanilla beans to your bottle, then you want to pour in the alcohol, making sure that your alcohol covers all of the vanilla beans. And then make sure that your bottle is sealed tightly, and then you want to shake your bottle with the vanilla beans inside and just make sure all that vanilla is just dispersed all in the bottle. And then you want to store this in a cool, dark place and then take it out and shake it once a week. This bottle was a little bit bigger, and so I used 18 beans for 24 ounces of alcohol, and I just made sure that my beans were completely submerged. And you want to make sure that your beans soak in the alcohol for at least 4 to 6 months before using it. So I'm going to transfer this vanilla extract to small amber bottles, and I'm going to put a label on them and tie them with ribbon, and I'm going to give these away for gifts at Christmas. And I think that it'll be a special gift because it's homemade, and I just love how these look, and I cannot wait to try it. I've heard that homemade vanilla extract is the best, and once you make homemade, you'll never buy it from the store again. I'm providing these labels to you as a free download when you subscribe to our blog. So just go to our blog and scroll down on the post, and you'll see the box where you enter your email. And these labels will be delivered to your inbox, and you'll be able to download them. And you can add these to your vanilla extract bottles and give them away as gifts as well. This is just our way of saying thank you for being here and encouraging us on our channel. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate all of y'all, and I sure hope that you enjoy these labels. The next thing I'm going to upcycle are these Grapevine wreaths. I found these recently, and I just thought they were really neat. They're just a small size, so I thought that they would be fun to do something creative with. So with these, I'm going to make angel vine topiaries. This DIY, you'll need some type of flower pot. I'm using some terracotta pots that I had on hand, and you'll also need some potting mix. I also picked up angel vines, and this is also called wire vine. These were $1.50 at our local nursery, and so they are what inspired this DIY, because I knew I had the grapevine wreaths at home, and I knew that I could do something fun with these. I also picked up some floral pins. I got these from Hobby Lobby, but you can get them from any craft store, and you can also buy them on Amazon. I filled my pots with potting mix and just filled them up. I left about 12 inches at the top, and I just used a potting mix from Walmart. I just buy the store brand because I have good results with that. And then I just added my wire vine into that. So just plant it like you would any flower. This is a trailing vine, and so what you want to do is train it to grow around the form that you add to your pot. So whatever form that you add, that is what your vine is going to eventually grow on, grow all the way around it and cover it. And I think that these add so much charm. They can be added to a stack of books or any vignette. And I think the green and the terracotta will transition into fall. For the holidays, you could just put a little red bow on the wreath, and then it would also transition into spring and summer. It's a perfect little plant to add to your collection. Now it's time to add my wreath, and just keep in mind, if you want to do this, you don't have to use a wreath. You can use any form that the vine will grow up on. And so just think outside the box, and just anything that fits in your pot that the vine can grow up on will work. And then I just secured my grapevine wreath into my pot with the floral pins. And I just stick it on the wreath and then down into the dirt, and it held it securely. I think I used about 5 pins per wreath, and it held up great. Now, I'm not going to be moving this plant around very much, but if you did, you might have to secure it a little bit more with floral wire, but these pins worked out great for this project. And then the last thing that I'm going to upcycle are these round frames. I showed y'all these in a previous video, or either I showed them on Instagram stories. I'm not real sure where I shared them. But I think the print is really neat. It's very fall, and it's got these gold frames. The frame is just plastic, so I want to do something to those to make them look a little bit more high-end. And I think that I'm going to change out the print. When I change the frame color, these prints may work in here, but we'll see what I do with them. I've got different ideas floating around in my head, so we'll see what works out. For this DIY, I started by taking the backing off of the frame, and this backing was only held on by a few screws, so I just had to use a Phillips head screwdriver to take that loose. Sometimes the frames are put together a little bit more complex, so it takes a little more elbow grease to get the backing off. So keep that in mind when you're purchasing frames, to make sure that you can get the backing off easily, or if you want to put more work in it and really pry the back off of these frames. After the frames were all disassembled, I then gave the frames one coat of black paint. You could also spray paint your frames. I did not have any on hand, so I just used some paint that I had picked up from Walmart in the color ink. I'll link it all below for you. And I just painted these on and made sure to leave a little bit of the gold shining through. So one coat was enough for mine, but you may want to look back at yours and make sure that one coat is enough coverage for you. I wanted some of the gold shining through this, so I didn't want it completely covered.
and I wanted it to look a little bit antique, and so you just paint it to your preference and put as many coats on it as you would like. And you can paint these any color. You could even use rub and buff to make the gold not so bright and make it look a little bit more modern. So this would be a fun project to try different paint techniques and just different colors. Just a fun little fact about me that you may not know is when I started out painting, I would go to the thrift store and just buy picture frames and come home and just try different paint techniques on the frame. That way, if I messed up, it was not a huge piece of furniture and it was just a picture frame that I could just repaint, and it only cost me about 50 cents to do it. So this is where I learned how to paint furniture and to gain my confidence and just learn different techniques. So that's a fun thing if you're wanting to learn how to paint furniture. Just start with a picture frame or just something small and just paint it and try different techniques and gain your confidence, and you'll be painting big furniture in no time. After the picture frames are all painted and dry, I then add my clear wax on top of that. This is some of my favorite wax to use. And when you put it on top of paint, it just gives it that finished look, and it gives it a little bit of a sheen instead of that chalky finish. And it also protects the surface of whatever you've painted. So this is an important step, and it just makes your project look finished. And then after you add the wax, be sure to go back and buff it a little bit, and this will give it a little bit of a shine and just make it look finished and more professional. Next, I clean the glass really well with my Norwex cloths. I love these cloths for glass. They give it a streak-free look, and these needed to be cleaned because they had just been dirty from neglect and just years of being put away. And so I made sure they were clean before I put my pictures back in them. And I'm going to use these silhouettes. These are of the girls that we had done years ago, and we put them in one frame, but I think that they would make more of a statement in separate frames. I also ordered some round mats, but they did not come in time for this video, so I will add those later.
So that about wraps up this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you were inspired to take some of your thrifted items and upcycle them into something that can work in your home. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, and you can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and our blog, Our Contented Home. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.